We are in a completely different context in the world in which we live from the world in which our parents or grandparents lived, or even when I was younger. The world is different because it is a post-Christian world in North America, and particularly in Canada. The Vital Church Planting Conference helps us to explore new ways of being the church in ways that are faithful to our tradition, but broaden our scope and our ability to reach out to people who would never darken a church door. Archbishop Rowan Williams, the Archbishop of Canterbury, has called the church to a mixed economy so that we are both and, not either or.
We had been trained to maintain. In seminary, in our seminary education, we had been taught how to keep the show going, to keep it going as we inherited it, and as maintainers, we didn't tend to think in terms of starting something from scratch, starting something new. So I was challenged by that idea that perhaps what this society right now needs is some fresh approaches, some new strategies for reaching new people. So I went to the conference and heard some pretty solid theology and some challenging speakers, and was inspired by some of the ideas that were being tossed around.
We're in the process of planning for the 5th Vital Church Planting Conference. It's been a great 5 years. Our hope was that if we did this conference every year, a community would form, people would begin to talk the same language around church planting, fresh expressions of church, innovative ministry. They would tell stories, they would come back and learn from one another, and that indeed is happening. And over these years, the conference has grown from 60 to, in 2010, almost 3 times as many, 170 people. It's also been exciting to see the first Western Canada Vital Church Planting Conference come about. And to their very first conference, they got 140 people, including 5 bishops.
In the Diocese of Toronto, this conference it's allowed us to start the conversation across a wide variety of people, lay and ordained, about what it would mean for us to reimagine and recreate church in the post-Christendom time that we now find ourselves in. And that's been really important for us to start that conversation.
This coming year, we have as our plenary speaker Bishop Steve Croft from Sheffield in England. Steve was the head of a theological college and then was appointed by the Archbishop of Canterbury to be the first team leader for Fresh Expressions in Britain. So Steve comes with theological substance, but also with a broad awareness of what's going on in terms of innovative church planting and new outreach ministries.
The conference, it's also become a hub where people have come together and built friendships with people who are also in the trenches, trying new things, trying to create new Christian communities, and that's been really important to build those relationships of encouragement and equipping. And I've also learned a lot from each other. What's working in your situation? I tried this and this didn't work. And seeing those conversations and networks develop has been fantastic.
We are at a critical time, I think, in the life of our church, where we can move forward into the future or to retreat into the past. God calls us. Part of God's mission is to reach forward into a future into which God's calling us, where God's already going before and inviting us to follow in His footsteps. I hope that you, as leaders of the church, whether as bishops, archdeacons, or parish priests, or significant lay leaders in the life of your church, will come to this conference to do those 3 things: to meet other people, to learn some new ideas, and to see that you're on the right track already.